It's an interesting proposition, I think. Just that you have a central planner. How many hot dogs 300 million Americans are going to want at every moment in time? Now, the reason that's a great example because something has to decide. Something has to be the arbiter of how many hot dogs 300 million Americans are going to want at any moment in time. Take a summer day where there are a lot of baseball games being played. Imagine if some idiot thought that he, alone with his administration, could plan something like that. Obama believes that. Obama and his people believe they should be in charge of things like that. Imagine the mess it would be. But how does it get solved? How does it happen that given any day of the year you choose, you want a hot dog, it's going to be there somewhere. There will be a hot dog. What makes that possible? Now, the Occupy Wall Street crowd doesn't think about this. They've never been taught this. They don't even think of things like this. It's not even on their radar. It's just there. They're Americans. There should be a hot dog. The problem they have is they have to pay for it. That's what they don't like. But somebody has to make it possible for it to be there, some system. And Mr. Wolfram's point here is that it's capitalism. And the price system will determine. You would lose money. It's like the restaurant owner. Can you imagine if you've never owned a restaurant, you have your menu, so everything on that menu has to be available. If you're going to stay in business, you can't tell customers, sorry, don't have the prime rib tonight. It's got to be there. But then how do you know how much to have? Because you can only keep it for so long before you have to toss it out, which is a loss. So how do you know how much to order, how much to keep, and do that for your entire inventory? And if you sell booze, if you got a bar, you have to do the same thing. Then you got to worry about theft. You have to factor all these things in. But you've got a menu of items in your restaurant. It better be there. And you have to do it in such a way that you show a profit at the end of the day or you're going to be closing down. How does that happen? How do you know just the right amount to have in your refrigerator or in stock, particularly when you're dealing with food? Market capitalism is the key to the wealth of the masses. As Ludwig von Mises wrote in his 1920 book, Socialism, only market capitalism can make the poor wealthy. Nobel laureate Friedrich Hayek, in his famous 1945 paper, The Use of Knowledge in Society, showed that only the price system in capitalism can create the spontaneous order that ensures that goods will be allocated in a way that ensures consumers determine the use of resources. Price system determines what people can afford, therefore what moves, what sells, what gets replaced, what gets manufactured to replace. The Occupy Wall Street movement would make best use of its time and energy in protesting the encroachment of the centrally planned state that led to the disaster of the Soviet Union, fascist Germany, and dictatorial North Korea. Now, this stuff is quite simple when it's explained to you by somebody that can make the complex understandable, but these people have never been taught it. They just assume that stuff's there. They probably think he's right, that if they were in charge of central planners, there'd be more of it for everybody. You just have to redistribute it better so everybody had as many hot dogs as they want, whenever they wanted, and it wouldn't cost them anything. Basic Econ 101. That's probably what this guy at Harvard's trying to teach students that they're walking out on. They probably consider anything to do with capitalism bias. Conservative bias.